make sure that we're recording right now. And these recordings do get added to our Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. Let me go and pop that open for you guys. I'll pop it into the chat just in case maybe you've never seen our Inside Real Estate YouTube channel before. Not only do our success meetup webinars get added to our Inside Real Estate YouTube channel, but additionally, if you go back, there's probably hundreds upon hundreds of hours of advanced marketing strategies in here as well. So lots of goodies to be had on the YouTube channel. And there it is. I just popped it into the chat for you guys. Additionally, if maybe this is your first time attending a success meetup webinar, or maybe a friend gave you the link and another agent or something, and you have no idea how you got here, how to attend another one, what the topics are going to be on, let me back up and give you some inside information about that. I apologize for anyone who's already well acquainted. I just like to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I'll let you know, when you log into your KV Core platform on the main desktop, or on the main, dashboard, right over here on the right in the KV Core training module, we have our live training calendar here. And I'll let you guys, I'll share this out as well. You'd go and you'd choose the times that the best applies to you. And I'll let you know that these success meetup webinars are held every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as you can see here on the screen, with the exception of the occasional holiday. Tuesdays and Thursdays are held by our training team. The training team who hosts will fluctuate from week to week, and they tend to cover KV Core basics. Wednesdays are held by our Done For You services team, typically. I think, well, we might be covering it this year or this week, but and those tend to go into more kind of advanced marketing strategies. So there's something available for everyone. If you want to know what the topic is going to be for a given week before you jump into a success meetup, I'll let you know that we have started posting those in our Facebook group. So for anyone who doesn't have the Facebook group, one more link coming your way. Let me go ahead and click on this and pop that in the chat for you guys. So this is our Facebook group. This is a great way to synergize with like-minded individuals, get examples of how other agents are experiencing success with KV Core, and of course, you know, a good way to ask questions, find out what the success meetup topics will be for any given week. We typically post them in the Facebook group. You'll be able to see them quite easily there. So a couple of introductory links I like to pop in the chats. Someone popped in the chat, hi, is there any way you can email me the working for sale by owners docs Ryan did with one of the trainings? I emailed him 3 weeks ago, but I haven't heard back. Ryan, unfortunately, is no longer teaching or doing training for Inside Real Estate anymore. So that's probably why he may not have responded. I'll reach out to my team and see if we can find those. That sounds like very specific documents. So I don't know how easy they would be to find. I apologize, but I'll reach out to the rest of my training team and see if they might have an answer for you. So I'm just going to copy your information. And if you, Carrie, if you want to, rather than chatting to everyone, if you want to chat directly to me or to hosts and panelists, maybe your email address, and that way I can, if I do find out anything, I can try to email that to you. All right, and I'm just popping that in there. Or you know what, I'll probably be able to pull it up in our, I'll just remind myself to check our attendees list if you're registered. Okay. All right. So a couple other introductory notes. If I've got anyone here who's maybe brand new to KV Core or Inside Real Estate, highly recommend a great beginner step right above the live training calendar, Agent Quick Start course. Great way to get an introduction to all things KV Core. So just little some introductions. Of course, don't forget that you also have access to our handy support team. Chat is available 7 days a week, and support articles are also available to you. So I think we've covered all of our resources at this point. So let's jump into today's topic specifically. So today we're talking about CRM cleanup tips to get organized for the new business year. And I'm going to be honest, when I was creating kind of my content, what I wanted to talk about today, the topic of cleanup tips, reorganizing for the new year's definitely got me excited. And I really could think of a lot of things beyond just the CRM itself, so many ways to really just get yourself reorganized for the new year, especially right now. If things are a little bit slow, you find you have a little extra time. I don't know about you, but I feel like there's nothing more satisfying than kind of setting yourself up for success for the year to come. Kind of like creating your, your New Year's resolutions, but for your business and for your KV Core account. So what I created here is I created a little sheet. You'll notice if I haven't introduced myself already, by the way, my name is Mariel Ortiz. I'm a product trainer here with Inside Real Estate. But every time I teach one of these success meetups, I create a little doc for you guys. So that way you can kind of see an outline or an agenda of what we're working on today. Let me double check that I've made this. Yep, you guys can all view it. So I'll post this in the chat. This link I'm adding is our agenda. And I make one of these sheets every time I teach a success meetup. But I noticed as I was creating the subject matter for today, I got real in depth about, tips beyond just the CRM. So I'm kind of thinking that this may become a 2-part success meetup. I believe my next success meetup that I'm going to be teaching is in January. So it is after the start of the new year. It's on the 10th. So I've included kind of all the details from what I would consider kind of part 1 and part 2 on the same sheet. So you can kind of, we'll see how far we get today through this information. Of course, if you guys have questions as we go along, feel free to pop them in the chat. It's okay if we veer off subject, or if you guys are really interested in a particular topic, maybe we'll spend more time in one place rather than another. But I've included it all in this sheet in case you guys maybe like want to work ahead or aren't able to perhaps attend, a part 2 on the 10th. Again, they will all eventually get added. All these recordings get added to the YouTube channel. So you'd always probably check kind of the week after and see if it gets posted there if you want to kind of follow through with this, these concepts of ways to get organized for the new year. But today we're going to focus mostly on part 1, which is really about kind of CRM tips. We're going to make sure, whether you're brand new to KV Core or whether you've been working with us for a while, we're going to get reacquainted with the smart CRM and filters and really take a deep dive in your contacts. Now, this can sometimes be a time-consuming process. I've got a lot of tips on here. Some of these tips might not apply to everybody. So pick and choose the ones that get you excited or get the wheels turning, or that you realize, deep down, I could really stand to take some time and do this for my own database. So we're going to talk about updating status, hashtag, and deal type for contacts. We're going to check those filters, check our current contacts, our current contact hashtags in the hashtag management section, which is located under your marketing tab. This is actually hashtag management was a newer feature that was added to KV Core. I believe it was this year. So those of you that have never heard of hashtag management, this might be an eye opener for you guys. Additionally, we'll talk about updating contact information to your existing contacts. Now, some of you might not find this necessary. Maybe you've been manually doing this all throughout the year, but I'll also point out that you have access to our Sphere playbooks, which is another way to go and check which specifically your Sphere contacts are missing contact information, because we want to make sure everybody has contact information. We want to make sure that we're nurturing everyone through the platform. It doesn't have to just be for leads. It could be for friends or family members. You never know who your next referral may come from. Additionally, we're going to talk about, kind of the lesser thought out pieces of contact information, like making sure they have a birth date or a home anniversary possibly in their contact details. Because if you didn't know, you can automate birthday or home anniversary texts or emails through the platform. We're also going to make sure you guys know how to identify your unengaged leads in the platform. So those not on search alerts, smart campaigns, or market reports, and kind of decide what we're doing with those cold leads that may be sitting in there. So ways to kind of follow up with them either individually, or we'll talk about some mass actions, talk about, archiving contacts, maybe re-engaging with mass email and text, and of course, pinning filters. Now, if you haven't been, pinning your commonly used filters to your smart CRM, something that you may want to do, because it can be a huge time saver if you're just jumping into your KV Core Smart CRM and always going to the group that you specifically need to reach out to in a given day, rather than going and filtering through them every single time. So just kind of an outline of what I'm kind of proposing we talk about today. Of course, I really want to encourage you guys, feel free to utilize that chat, or let me know if you have, specific questions, need a little bit more time in one area. I typically make these kind of high level, just kind of a broad overview of the topics, but I'm happy to take a deeper dive and really explore if that's an interest of anyone's here. Additionally, I'll point out on these little documents that I typically create for my success meetups, besides giving you guys a little agenda, I also include a challenge. So once you guys are done here today, I really hope you take what you learn and apply it within the platform. I'm definitely someone who will, watch videos on productivity and things like that, and, feel really positive about myself for having watched them. But no, at the end of the day, it's not going to make a lick of difference if I don't take what I've learned and apply it. Additionally, I've got some other helpful articles linked. I've got links to the YouTube channel and Facebook group here as well, in case maybe you haven't clicked them, haven't bookmarked them. And there's a place to a little scan QR code that'll take you to our KV Core marketplace. And I'll even make sure that after our webinar here today, the success meetup has been recorded. I'll include that recording link here. So, if you don't want to wait till this pops up on YouTube, I like to add it to this sheet for you guys. So by end of day today, I'll make sure this recording link gets added to the sheet also. All right, I think I have wasted enough time. Let's jump into the fun stuff here. And let's start right at the beginning. So let's reacquaint ourselves with the smart CRM and our filters. Another thing I'll point out here, if it's not terribly obvious, all those little blue highlighted words, click on any of them, they'll take you to our various support articles on those topics. So those are all clickable links. All right, so heading into KV Core and the main dashboard, here we are. Today's topic will revolve mostly around the smart CRM. And I'll just point out right off the bat, I talked about pinning or saving filters. When you go and you save a filter and pin it, those pin filters are really easy to access right when you go and hover over smart CRM. Any filters which you've pinned will be visible in a little drop down, so I can jump straight to pool home buyers with an email if I really wanted to. So one of the benefits of that, I'll just point that out right before we get into it. But I'm going to go to the main CRM. I'm just going to click on CRM so I see all of my contacts in here. I will let you guys know this is a demo account. Most of my leads in here are probably going to be fake. And, it might seem a little small compared to most of your databases. At least I hope so. I think I've only got maybe 100 or so contacts in here. Hopefully you guys already have thousands in there. If not, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit in a part 2 success meetup, talk about filling in the blanks, adding in contacts that are missing from your database. But I want you guys, if you're not already very familiar, to reacquaint yourself with the filters. Now, again, I know some of you guys may have been with KV Core for a while, but you may not realize how frequently Inside Real Estate or KV Core updates the platform. There are always new features being added. A little side note, I don't want to get too distracted here, but I pointed out the little chat feature down here in the bottom right hand corner to reach out to support. One other thing that I like to point out here is there's a little news tab. If I go click on news, oh, maybe not news. If I go click on home, there's things like status. Let's see. There used to be a little product update section. They might be updating this right now, actually. So all systems are operational. I think it's typically news. They may have changed, they've even changed the, the chat widget around, but news, they'll usually post about the updates in the platform. And I think they've just recently added this in here as well. Share your product ideas. If you have a product request that you'd love to see in the platform, add in a little descriptive title and what you'd like to see added here. Little off topic what I wanted to talk about here today, but typically when KV Core has updates, they'll usually post that in the news section here. So if there's a new feature that's been added or adjusted, you'll usually see a reflection of that. We try to keep you up to date. Sometimes there'll just be a banner at the top or bottom of your screen that lets you know about the updates as well, or a video that pops up when you log in. Anyways, we're going to talk about filters from top to bottom. I'll quickly point out here, select a saved filter. If you go and save any filters, you can go, there's a little drop down, or you can go and search for them here. We'll also get back into towards the end about managing your saved filters and how to pin them. If you're checking this box, you're pinning it so it becomes a quick link for your CRM. But we'll start kind of at the beginning, and I apologize for anyone if this seems like really beginner information, but if we're starting kind of at the beginning of our filters, we want to make sure that our contacts have an accurate status, deal type. Those are our deal types here under contact details. And we're keeping our hashtags up to date. Now, status, if I've got anyone who's brand new here to KV Core, status refers to every contact's going to have one status at all time. They are meant to change over time because it relates to where a contact is in their current client journey. Helping you organize, say, your sphere contacts would be who would be considered, you know, your friends, your family members, people who may or may not have an interest in real estate. And separating out, you know, say your prospective clients, people you know or have contact information on that you're working on converting them to a lead. So I'm talking about, you know, maybe your people who go and attend an open house. You've generated some contact information on them, but you're still working on converting them. Your new leads, people that are brand new to you. Maybe they came in as a website lead and you're on a fact-finding mission to determine whether they're just browsing because they love million-dollar mansions or whether they're more specifically looking to purchase in maybe 2023. You don't know what the case is. And then of course, you know, your clients, your closed deals, people that have a contract pending. I feel like this is a one that leads commonly get stuck at. You know, maybe you had the foresight to adjust, you know, someone who was a client to a contract, but forgot to mark when you've actually closed a deal with them, or, you know, kind of the alternate option. You know, maybe they were a client, you forgot to mark once they've moved into contract. This will really help you stay on top of, you know, who's making their way to a deal. And I'll point out one more thing as well. We'll get into this a little later. Your business analytics section down here at the bottom, if you've never taken a dive in there, it's generating reports and information for you based on, you know, contact information, what they're looking at on your website, and, you know, overall KV Core activity. You know, it's tracking and source performance in the business analytics. which sources of leads are not only generating new leads, but which ones are converting into clients and which ones are you closing out a deal with. So making sure that you're staying up to date with the statuses and updating them as necessary will help you have a better idea of, which sources are really worthwhile. You want to know, if you're using free DIY lead generation and have some leads coming in through your website, some leads maybe generated through Sphere referrals, and maybe you're purchasing leads. Don't you want to know at the end of the year, which sources were really worth your time, money, energy, whatever the case may be? So keeping up with these sources, statuses may be worthwhile to filter by them. Take a courtesy glance at the contacts in them. Now, if you've got millions of contacts, that might not be the most efficient use of your time. So as I mentioned, these tips as we go through them may apply to some people and not to others. So take it all with a grain of salt, but might be worth a courtesy glance to see which contacts haven't perhaps been updated in a while, may need that. Keep in mind, you can utilize these filters and go and filter by them. Just go click apply filters. You can get really specific and click at multiple filters at once. So maybe I want to do my contract buyers with a specific hashtag, filter by them. And then maybe I also want to organize them by their last, my last call to them, or, the date they were added to my CRM. So maybe